Hello, my friends, and welcome back to PlayStation Live from E3. To my left, once again, Justin Massengill.
Hey.
Feels good to be on stage with you again.
Yeah, I mean, this is great.
You know what else feels great? Having Sam from Square Enix on.
Hi.
Hello, sir.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome back to the show. Well, no, welcome to the show for the first time.
Yep, I'm very great.
It's a pleasure to have you to talk about Lost Sphear, which has come to PS4. This is the second game from Tokyo RPG Factory following I Am Setsuna. A lot to unpack here. Start maybe with one of the most important parts of an RPG, the story. What is the story of Lost Sphear?
So the story begins with Kanata and his friends Lumina and Locke. So those are his two best friends, and they reside in a city called Elgarth. So moving on to the actual premise of where everything happens, so you have this thing called Lost. So as they kind of go search out for Locke, him maybe kind of be a little slightly aloof, they double back over to the city, to the town of Elgarth, to kind of realize, hey, what happened to the city? So. Which
and things go from there.
Yeah, which kind of leads to the title
unfolds.
itself of Lost Sphear. So.
And any connections between Setsuna and Sphear? Because, first of all, they're both S names, so I assume that they're completely linked together.
We should mention that this is the second game from Tokyo RPG Factory.
Exactly.
Who released I Am Setsuna not too long ago. What was that, about a year ago?
It feels like yesterday.
Yeah.
It's actually, as a matter of fact, it's been almost a year already since the release.
How is that possible?
So I Am Setsuna was very well received, and now Tokyo RPG Factory coming out with their second game. Yeah, how's the team feeling?
Yeah, the team feeling really positive. It's the same team, as a matter of fact. So this being their second game, they're actually two very distinct stories.
Okay, cool.
So you don't have to play the first one. Their first game,
We would like to treat it completely separate. So Lost Sphear has its own unique story, brand new environment, brand new characters, a new cast.
And I heard that you'd be willing to tell us the meaning behind Lost Sphear. Did I miss it?
Yeah, so Lost Sphear actually has two implications. So
okay.
Lost is actually alluding to the phenomenon that's happening called Lost.
Got it.
Is the disappearance of memory throughout the land, which you have buildings that have disappeared, landmarks, certain things within a game that have just disappeared from existence. Sphear, on the other hand, actually alludes to the moon. But there's a mystery behind the moon, so we'll leave it to the players to find out.
Teasing me. Teasing me.
Just a little bit.
Another pillar of RPGs, combat systems, battle mechanics. Obviously, I Am Setsuna had a really old school style battle system.
Yeah.
I feel like we're probably going to see that in Lost Sphear as well, but you got to tell me about it.
Yeah, so the cool thing about this title, and especially from the games coming from Tokyo RPG, is that it's a culmination of all of the classic RPG elements that all classic RPG players love. It has ATB battle system, it has an overworld, it has customization. Everything you love within the classic RPGs, it's all culminated on one game.
Perfect.
Cool.
How about
So,
go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I was going to ask about the music, because I Am Setsuna had a beautiful soundtrack, a very piano-centric soundtrack. How is the team approaching the music for Lost Sphear?
So the cool thing is, it's the same composer from I Am Setsuna.
Yeah.
But this time, rather than having a completely piano orchestral,
It's all drums.
No.
It's all total
EDM
drum
music.
soundtrack.
It's a full tuba soundtrack.
It's just the Whiplash soundtrack underneath the whole thing, really.
But the cool thing is it actually evolved to more of an orchestral soundtrack. So you have more percussions in the background, more of a robust soundtrack. It could be EDM. I'm just kidding. But yes, it has a much more robust soundtrack. It's more orchestral. Basically, an evolution from the original game that they've originally developed.
Cool. So how long has Tokyo RPG Factory been working on Lost Sphear? Because I know that I Am Setsuna just came out, like we said, about a year ago. Were they working on this while they were wrapping up Setsuna, or did they just manage to crank it out really quickly?
Yeah, during the whole development cycle, we don't actually have any particular comment about that. However, we could assume that they actually did pour their entire time and soul into the game.
Okay, cool.
Of course. How could you not pour yourself into an RPG? Tell me a little bit about party composition, because obviously that's another classic element of RPGs. Do we have multiple characters? Can they switch in and out? How does that work?
Yeah, as you currently see here, we actually do have
what do we got? Look at these cuties.
Character party system. As you see here, the top one is Kanata, Lumina right below, and Van on the bottom, as well as Locke on the right. So the party composition is that all of them actually use unique weapons, much like its predecessor. So you have Kanata, which is using a sword. You have Lumina, who uses gloves. You have Van, who uses these awesome flying things on his shoulders called bits that shoot laser beams out. And you have Locke, who's more of a tinker type person. He's usually used to building things. So he actually builds his own crossbow.
Oh, cool. So I Am Setsuna drew a lot of comparisons in the combat to Chrono Trigger. Had kind of like the tech attacks going on and all that. Is there any of that kind of stuff going on in Lost Sphear?
Yeah, so a lot of the similarities were adopted from Setsuna, which was adopted from Chrono Trigger, but it actually retains a lot of those original core gameplay elements.
Cool.
So,
yeah.
Now, okay, so I gotta back it up a little bit to characters. Who's this cutie right here? The one in the cloak?
yes, his name is Van.
All right, like it a lot.
Kind of looks like a black
Yeah.
mage.
Those things that you see him trying to shooting from his shoulders are called bits. So there wasn't an actual like a definition for them, but that's what we're calling them in the
Yeah, I see bits. I see little like glowing energy orbs there. What's going on with all that?
Yeah, so that's his means of attacking. So,
so
much like
that's
everybody
like his
uses
weapon?
Yes.
Yeah.
So much like everyone has their forte of going about either walloping on the guy or just slashing at the guy. He actually just stands there and shoots lasers from his shoulders.
So RPGs are obviously a really long-running genre, and it's beloved pretty much cross-culture, right? How does Tokyo RPG Factory kind of keep the old stuff in, but also modernize it, make it accessible, bring in new people? I mean, I feel like that's kind of an element to I Am Setsuna, because there was a sort of simplicity and purity to it, but it still had a lot of cool things going on in it.
So the thing with Lost Sphear is, as I mentioned, it's a culmination of a history of classic RPG. Now, taking a step back, you actually have to realize, like, hey, like, what is it nowadays that people do want to see? And no, they want the original classic RPGs, but they want new things added. So taking all those things into consideration, they actually did add a few things such as the momentum system, as well as these things called Kiso armor, which I'm not going to dive into. It's more of a teaser until a later time.
Sure.
So.
Anything else? Any other questions, Justin?
No, I think I'm good. I'd like to know when Lost Sphear is coming out.
Yeah, you guys talked about that yet?
We actually announced early 2018.
All right.
It's going to be on PlayStation 4. And we actually do have it available right now, the physical edition, available in the Square Enix online store.
Oh, so you can pre-order the physical edition there? Nice.
Then, yep.
From Square.
Cool.
Look at that. It was a perfect plug. You were like, I got to make sure I talk about Square Enix store. You're a faithful employee.
But I don't want to discount.
Money at that store,
I don't want to discount PlayStation Network as well. So it will be available for that as well.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Sam, it's always a pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for coming on. Lost Sphear looks awesome. Justin, thank you for co-hosting with me. And thank you, everyone, for joining us at home. We have much more coming from PlayStation Live from E3. Please do not go anywhere, including more news on games, interviews, much more right after this. Stick around.
PlayStation